I get wings to fly, feel like I'm alive, life, 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 life. Oh, that song goes in my head at night. It goes in my head through the day because I play it so often. I'm really glad that Celine Dion is getting the praise and the dues that she is due. God, that said dues twice. Because she should. It's Celine frickin' Dion. You know, TikTok is one of my favourite places in the world to be. If you get your algorithm right, obviously. God, it's harsh though. The comments, don't ever read comments. But when the kids find things like Celine, I'm waiting for them to find Barbara. When they find Barbara Streisand, it's going to blow their beautiful minds. The youth, I tell you, there is just so many great things from the past that when kids find out, they're like, they lose their stuff. I remember watching my nephew do that. I remember doing that as a kid. Like hearing songs that were covers, but I didn't know they were covers. But my mum would be singing along. I'm like, how do you know this song? And she's like, oh my God, it's a Beatles song. Changing the subject. There was no segue here. I just wanted to talk quickly about the epidemic that's happening at the moment, which I do all the time, about the femicide that is happening in this country. Seems to be a bit of an epidemic going on. And our government is starting to, I don't know whether it's just lip service. Maybe I'm just a cynical old mole. But I just feel like, I can't trust. There is a trend on TikTok. So this is actually a good segue. There's a trend at the moment going around where women are being asked, would you rather be stranded alone in the woods with a bear or a man? And the women choose a bear. It's something like 1 in 1,000 chances that a bear will attack you. I didn't know that, so I'm learning. But obviously, it's a really sad state of affairs. And what's even sadder about it is the comments or the stitchings. If you don't know TikTok, a stitch is when someone else has taken the original video and they've stitched themselves with it. So they come on next to it after it, and they're in the video as well with their own retort. So you've got all these men saying, oh my God, like as if a woman would ever choose a bear, like be realistic, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's for me, by the by, like it's so expected. I'm so used to seeing these kinds of stitches, these kinds of videos, these kinds of defensive offensives, aggressions. To me and you, I'm sure, it just reiterates the point, which is the irony of it, that they don't realise that they're making our point for us. But it's still a really sad state of affairs. The next trend that came was a woman went on and asked her husband, okay, you have a bear and a man that you don't know either of them. Which one would you leave your daughter with? And he really had to think, like, he was really struggling with it. And he was like, he was like, can I know anything about the man? And she's like, nope, you can't know anything about the man. He goes, can I know what type of bear or how old? No, you can't know anything about the bear either. So he was like, oh, and then he just said, oh, I really don't trust people, do I? And it was such a poignant moment for me and her, because she picked up on it immediately that he said people. So she very quickly said, okay, a bear and a woman, who would you leave? And he said, a woman. So he got it all of a sudden. She didn't have to correct him and say, you don't trust men, babe. You know that you now don't trust men. She let him get there. But it was quite an amazing, I guess, sociological experiment to watch play out in someone's home. These are the things that I love about social media and the internet. And the fact that we can look at something like that, we can go inside someone's life, inside someone's home. We can see real change happen. We can also see, no change happen. I can't believe the education that I get from videos. I don't read much anymore. I guess my attention span has changed, as so many people's have with social media, the introduction of social media. Everything is so much shorter. And my friends give me a really hard time about my attention span, but I'm not going to give myself a hard time anymore. And I don't think that we should give ourselves hard times about things that may not necessarily be a bad thing, because I can't believe God, I sound like a bogan then. I can't believe how many things I'm learning from a very short video where I'll be being educated by a specialist in a field that I'm interested in but have no specialty in myself or expertise. I mean, I don't take, and no one should, any advice from influencers or anyone really that doesn't have skill and education in that particular field. And that's the kind of videos that I watch. I watch a guy called Dr. Ids, who does nothing but research, brings up research, shows you the research that he's found, how he's found. He breaks it down for you. And what he does is he stitches videos with people, mostly wellness warriors, who are imparting misinformation, disinformation, outright fabrications, mostly about the medical world or dietitians, dietetics, things like that. He has this catchphrase that says, "Time for school." And then he'll break it down for you, the original video, and then he'll show you all the studies, randomized studies, double-blinded studies. He knows how to read research, which is a really, really difficult thing to do. And unless you know how to read research, we don't know how to read research. And his videos, they don't go for more than 10 minutes. And they're extremely well edited. They're videos like his that I follow, and I get proof and answers to questions that I may have about certain things that, are in my life. Like, should I eat that? Should I have that medicine? Or, is there any truth in the fact that there's different types of salt? Or, things like that. Like, wellness warriors, just like Big Pharma, are making money from you needing their products and services. So be skeptical of all and make sure that you are trusting the right people when it comes to, I can't believe we can get this information from an actual doctor with a PhD who has now made it his livelihood to debunk myths, misinformation, disinformation. Like, how incredibly lucky are we that we have that? Because as people, we will believe, we are intrinsically open to trust. And, we're community-based species. We need people, we need connection. And that's how we get, I guess, duped in so many ways, because we trust so easily, because you want to. We're empathic people, species that, want to see the best. So it's pretty easy to dupe us. Oh, anyway, I want to give you some homework. Can you please watch Baby Reindeer? It's a show I've just finished, and it's something I really need to talk to you all about. But I don't want to talk about it because it's quite new. It's only been out less than a month. It's on Netflix, Baby Reindeer, 7 episodes, a limited series. And I've never seen anything like it. The guy that wrote it and stars in it, it's a true story, and it's happened very recently. And he's written it all down. The people that are in this show are still alive, still going around. The premise of the story is about a woman who is stalking a man who's trying to be a stand-up comedian. So that's the premise. The acting is phenomenal.
You say this woman's stalking you?
Yeah, like 6 months maybe.
Why'd it take you so long to report it?
I think she needs help. She comes to my work, my house. She sends me emails like all the time.
Are any threatening towards you?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's particularly threatening.
You will feel like you don't want to get past episode 2. Like, is this going to go anywhere? But the first episodes are really slow. I'm going to say that right now. They're really slow and they really should have been tighter edited. I believe, in my unprofessional opinion. No, actually in my Gogglebox opinion, they should have been shorter. But once you get to about episode 3, once you get to episode 4, there's a massive shift. And by the time you get to the last episode, you will be in tears and you will have changed your thinking about the world at large. I promise you that. I promise you this show is going to make you think about things that you've never thought about before. Please don't look it up. Please don't give yourself spoilers. Please don't let anyone tell you anything. It's a really, really amazing journey to go on for yourself, and you need to go episode by episode. It's incredibly important because by the end, what you get from it, well, I was bawling my eyes out, and I do believe a lot of you will be as well. If it hasn't or doesn't affect you personally, it will affect you because not just what's playing out on the screen, but the fact that you may know people that this is happening to, has happened to, are complicit in. So that's your homework. God, who am I giving people homework? But I'd really love to chat about it and tell you my own story. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Today.
I love you all.